Sorry, I know what the problem is, it's there. I just need to make it a pure attribute. Tableau was overdoing things for me. It was adding too much in. No, that should be okay. Add months cannot be used here, but it is a numeric field. For sakes. All right. I'll just have to do this without the measure names, and just formatting these by default. Just go away. This is not working well. All right, so I'm just going to do this by purely by formatting. I'm going to make this guy convert to discrete. I'm going to drop the main as text, and I'm going to pick the day. So we can see that adding months has done nothing. We can add our months back in again. We can take it to 8. Now, truncating to the quarter. We're going to have start of year. I'm going to drop in as that is in as text, make that a day as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to edit this to make it look like columns. Delete this, space, apply. And I'm going to just make this nice and wide. Okay, so we've got, let's do, we'll do left classification, apply. So I'm truncating to the start of the quarter. Quarters start every 3 months, so January 1st, April 1st, so on. So it's taking November and truncating to October. It takes the January, truncates to January, takes February, and truncates to January, and finally takes April and truncates to the beginning of April. Now what I can do is I can go in and change start of year, and I can change the level of truncation here. And let's just move this out of the way, hide that so you can see. And I'm going to change this to a year. And hit the apply button. Year lowercase, hit apply. And now we can see it's truncating everything to the first year. So that's our, and I'm going to edit this. And I'm going to say step 1, space, and step 2, space. So, in step 1, we're going to subtract 8 months, which I'm going to do manually with a parameter. So step 1 subtracted 8 months, so it changed the 10th to the 2nd, but that's still, when I truncate to the beginning of the year, that's still in the same year. Now let's take a look at what happens right here when this steps from being in 1983 to 1984. What happens is, actually we'll go down a little further, so we've got something with some detail. What we have here is that in 2008, yes, where is the changeover between 2008 and 2006? There we go. So, what I want to illustrate here is the changeover that happens. So, what we see is that all the dates up to the end of August get mapped back to 2007, 01, 01. The reason why this happens is because we subtracted 8 months, and when we subtracted 8 months, it took 08 back to January, but it takes 09, or it takes 08 back into December of 2007, but it takes 09 to January of 2008. So we get a nice division here, so that our reference to the next year starts in September. Now, if I change this to 7, if I change this to 9, we watch, and now September is in 2007, and October is in 2008. So the next thing we did there was to create a field for start of the season. And we do edit, no, I don't want to do that. I'm going to create a field, create a calculated field, and we're going to call it start of season. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to reuse date add to undo what we did. So the idea here is for any given date in the year, I want to indicate which season start it corresponded to, and I want my winter seasons to all start on September 1st, right? So this will force the January to be bumped back up into September 1st. So we're going to do another date add, and I have to undo what I did before, so I have to put a month in, and I'm going to do an undo. So I'm going to do negative of the parameter control, months to add, and I'm going to do it to the start of year. Here we are. Oh, and I need a comma. And we hit OK. And we are done. So now, I just need to pull start of season over into the text. And I'm going to make it have the full day in there. Edit the text again. And delete this. And call it step 3. And apply. OK. So now, I'm going to scroll up a little bit so we can see the boundary. Now what we've done is, I've said the season that 2008 August 31st belonged to was the one that started on September 1st, 2007. The season that 2008, 09, 01, September 1st belongs to starts on that date. And then as we go down, all the dates are mapped to the start date. Now if I scroll forward to 2010 August, we'll see it gets mapped back to, we see it gets mapped back. So we're gonna go down to, oh, that went too fast. 2010, and here is, we can see, where it is, 2000, there it is. So we see August rolls right, right after August, we roll right into the beginning of the next season. And this is what allowed me to overlap all those seasons on top of each other in a single year. Now the final bit to demonstrate is days into season. So I'm going to basically remake this field again. So I'm going to start with start of season. I'm going to edit, and I'm going to call. I want to create a new date. Create a new calculated field called days into season. And this is where I'm going to use date difference. So what I want to determine is how many days I'm into the season from September 1st. So I want September 1st to be 0 days into the season, September 2nd to be 1 day into the season. So I need a date difference. And I want to measure my days. So I'm going to say day. And I need a start date. Well, that's my start of season. And I need an end date. And my end date is going to be my day of observation. Observe. Here we go. That's good. Okay. So I'm going to drop this in. This is my 4th and final step. And I'm going to edit this. I'm going to make it a short dimension. And I'm going to edit this again. I'm going to say this is step 4. Apply.
Good job, cutie.
So now we've got this nice double check here. Look at September 1st is 0 days in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can look. The day before was 364 days into the previous season. And it was this process here, this little this little final field here, that allowed me to put all the fields on top of each other. To have all the snow seasons on top of each other. Was using this this single this single difference. So this calculation used all 3 of the most critical date features you can. So we used date add to push to draw our dates back into the appropriate year of the start of the season. We used date truncate to get the January 1st of that year. We used date add again to push it back to the beginning of the season. So now we were on September 1st of the appropriate season. And finally, to get the number of days into the season, we had to use date difference. This you can use if you've got. So the reason why I did this is because the start of our snow season is different than the start of our calendar year and start of our fiscal year. Generally, if you're working with financial data, you're going to be safe to go in and look at the date and set the date properties and simply decide when you want your fiscal years to start on, and then you can just simply calculate days into the fiscal year. And Tableau actually has a calculation for calculating days into the fiscal year by default. That's fine unless you're actually dealing with non-financial data. And this is non-financial data, and so it doesn't necessarily fit really nicely into, and there was no guarantee that September 1st would be a really nice starting point. It just turns out it was. So if we go through, we can watch the numbers climb up, right? They climb up to 365, and then they drop back down again, right on the wraparound date. And the only other thing to look for is, let's go look for 2004, because that was so we should be able to see 366. Oh no, 365. Was it previous year then? Yeah, no, 2000. One of these 2 years should have 366. Where are you? Just want to make sure I'm catching leap years properly. Oh yeah, that's right, 365 is correct. That was the leap year. Sorry, because it started at 0. So that's the other thing that you can do is when you're doing these sorts of calculations, you can just do a quality assurance check and make sure I've got the calculations right. 2004 is a leap year, so there had to be 0 to 365 instead of 0 to 364. And that's it. Any questions about using the 3 most important date functions that you're going to probably never work with Tableau? Okay, so this is demonstrate date calculations. Okay, the next thing I want to demonstrate is a topic called densification. And in Tableau, what densification means is, when possible, when you have a scale with regular intervals in it, Tableau can impute missing values. And the way I'm going to demonstrate this is by looking at, going back and looking at the observation dates again. And we're going to look at the exact day. And I'm going to make it discrete. Now, you'll notice that in 1983, there were a large number of gaps. Right? It jumped around quite a bit. So I'm going to actually filter on the year. Let's put a filter in. on, sure, Ranger dates. Next. And I will do 1983 to the end of 83. Here we go. We'll do up until January 1st of 1984. Done. Okay, so we're just, that's not all the dates in the year, clearly, right? There's a bunch missing. So we can actually